Discussion.
We need a second.
That's right. Is there a second?
I second it.
Discussion. So
I thought we were going to vote on the bylaws that were presented, and am very upset that we got this 4 hours ago. I don't know how we can have conversation and vote on something I saw for the first time 4 hours ago. I am not willing to do that.
Ms. Elkinder.
I also have to say that I shouldn't be surprised anymore that there continue to be surprises at the board table. I've been at the office, and then I got an email that I checked, and then I was in parent-teacher conferences, and I have not had a chance to read this resolution. And we also know that our policy at the board table is we look at a practice or a proposed policy the first time, and then we vote on it at the next meeting. So at the very least, I would encourage the board to follow our board policy so that we can review this thoroughly. Even as you were presenting it, there were apparently a mistake or two. But even more importantly than that, I would say this board had a very good, strong conversation. And each one of us, I think we went through a couple of rounds, provided feedback to Mr. Elliott and to our DAC leaders who have been working very closely, DAC leaders, who've been working very closely with other leaders on this issue, who've put a lot of time into not only responding and doing a good job incorporating those ideas in this version, but have also worked on this for about 3 months to ensure that it aligned. And what's more, we also had a conversation about DAC chair, and then who would succeed the DAC chair and what that would look like. That wasn't anything new. So I'm surprised because it feels like we're undermining work that has been done by a group of committed people who've looked very closely at state law. I fully expected to vote on this tonight. I thought the integration of our feedback was well done, and I would urge the board to follow policy, and certainly we can review it and ask questions tonight, and we vote on this resolution. I'd love to hear from folks who've been actually working on this issue and hear what your thoughts are on this resolution, but that we vote on it at our next board meeting.
I'm just going to go down the line here because I think we probably all have interest in this topic. When I read this resolution and go through each of the points, of course the whereases are just background, but when you look at the resolution states that a new committee will be formed. Okay, that's something we have discussed, that it must conform must have membership that meets state law. We discussed that in our last meeting. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education shall appoint members to the district accountability. We had a robust discussion, and as you know, my position has been that this board shall appoint members, so I certainly take no issue with that. That is not new. Shall direct the administration to solicit for board review no later than October 1st. Okay, there's a timeline proposed. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education shall vote to appoint 11 members. So there's a composition here proposed where we appoint 11 members, which must include parents, at least one member of the business community, and at least 1 and up to 3 teachers. I'm all right with that. Which also shall have as members 1 school accountability committee president from each of the 17 parent articulation areas. We talked about including each of the articulation areas in part of our discussion last time, and the superintendent of the district. So I don't see new information there. Be it further resolved that given the urgency of the need to improve student achievement results, I hope we can all agree to that, as well as the need to meet the timetable for the delivery of District Accountability Committee outputs that is set by the state. The appointment of new members of the District Accountability Committee will take place at the October 15th meeting. I think the sense of urgency is appropriate and executable. Be it therefore resolved that the members of the District Accountability Committee shall select from among parent members a member to serve as chair. Well, that's actually required by statute, so I don't think we're going to take issue with that one. Be it further resolved that in addition to the documents required by state law each year, suggest a recommendation for outputs from the District Accountability Committee. They're reasonable, but they could, of course, be changed at a later date. There is nothing new in this resolution, and it is an embodiment of the views expressed in meetings that we've already had on this topic. So I don't find foundation for holding off and making a decision. This is very consistent with what we've discussed.
Mr. Witt, I'd like to respond to that because you were
around the table, and then we will let you go on.
I would say that as chair of this board, what preempts everything that you've just stated is that this board follows its own policy.
We do. This is
And we
all
have-
information we've already done on
No,
previous
we don't
meetings.
follow policy. We got this at around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Our policy
We
is...
discussed every one of these issues at our last meeting, Ms. Dahlkemper. I'm
Listen,
sorry if you're not paying attention.
I'm sorry, if
We
you're not
discussed
our
these
policy as
issues.
board chair, you don't know how to follow our own policy. that
This
we've
does
agreed
not violate
upon.
policy.
It totally violates policy. So what I recommend to you is I appreciate, Mr. Newkirk, that you have put a resolution on the table. I appreciate that very much. But I would hope that you would send a signal to our community that this board values the policy that we've created and that we're going to step up and follow it. Perfectly cool to put a resolution on the table. But at the very least, give us the time to read this, digest it, contrast it with what we also have been given by a committee that has spent more than 3 months analyzing state law and having conversations about this to determine whether this is a good resolution moving forward. All I'm asking is that we follow board policy, we ask questions about this if we have any tonight, and then we put it on the agenda for our next board meeting to approve it. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Ms. Williams. I thought I'd go around the table.
I personally like what's in the resolution. I did take time out to read it after I received it today, and thank you for going the extra effort, Ms. Neal, and making sure that I had noticed that it was there. I did compare it to the new revised bylaws, and the new revised bylaws are missing quite a few things that we had talked about last time. So I'm very comfortable with this new resolution.
Mr. Newkirk.
As Ms. Dahlkemper, this resolution is nothing more than an encapsulation of discussions that we've been having at this board table since last June, including the separation of the SPAC from the DAC. As Mr. Witt says, there's nothing new here other than dates, and the dates are critical now that we need to get this work going before October 15th.
Mr. Newkirk, we're meeting next week. We have a business meeting next week where we can vote on this resolution. We can do this the right way, or we can decide, let's throw board policy out the window, ignore it completely, and let's just vote on things whenever we feel like it. What kind of board are you going to run?
And
What kind of leadership are you going to show in terms of whether we're going to follow policy?
We're going to show leadership that does not drag our feet, that doesn't discuss things multiple times, Ms. Dahlkemper, but we're actually able to move on with the information that we've already determined is valid and relevant.
Good, that's
So
great,
that's
because here's the
leadership we're going to
problem.
provide.
Your leadership that you provide is providing this to the board hours before it meets and then expecting us to vote on it and not follow policy. That's the issue at hand here.
We've discussed every one of these items at our prior meeting, Ms. Dahlkemper, so that we are following policy.
We haven't read this thoroughly. It's fine.
Ms. Dahlkemper's been read to you twice, but we can continue to go over it until you feel like you understand all of the terms.
No, Mr. Witt, don't you dare speak down to me or disrespect me.
I'm
You've
not.
done it. Yes, you have. And I'm sorry that you don't understand the difference between those two things, because I'm done with it. And the other,
Oh, I can't believe this because I did not want to do this, but I will tell you, the mistake that you're making right now is that we have a policy on the table about how we govern. You are throwing governance right out the window because you have some agenda that you feel is so critical that we have to vote on tonight, that even a simple request that is to say, look, our policy says we review it and then we vote on it. And don't you dare insinuate that I don't understand this policy, and stop talking down to people on this board and also people who come forward. Enough. You would think that you would have gotten the message by now, but apparently not. All I'm asking, and I will be quiet after this, is that we govern properly and respectfully and we follow what our policy says. That's all I'm asking. And I have to tell you, I apologize for my reaction, but I am fed up with the way we're running this board.